Welcome to Truths, Proofs, and Firewater Reviews. I'm Lindsey and this is John, risking his liver to discover new whiskeys. We base our reviews on a 25-point scale, 5 points on the nose, 10 on the palate, 5 on the finish, and 5 points combined for the bottle and color of the juice. Now on to the review. I'm interested to see what you have to say about this one.
This one is soft and sweet.
Yeah, it smells good.
A little alcohol. A lot of caramel and vanilla.
Good smells, good smells.
Some strawberry.
What?
Oak. A little floral. Sugary and like candy cinnamon like, but not the hot ones. Like the little hearts maybe.
Okay.
A little cough syrup cherry in there also.
Ugh.
It doesn't smell bad with everything put together though. That's pretty good. I like it. 3.75.
Okay. How about we get some tasting? How's that taste?
Good.
Would you like to elaborate?
Well, it's oaky, has a lot of char, has a bite. Yeah, it has a pretty good peppery bite. Tastes pretty well aged, but fairly low proof. It doesn't have a ton of proof in it. You're stumping me again.
Yep. Sure am.
A little bit of that cough syrup cherry comes through too.
Mm.
I don't mind it as long as it's not super strong.
I'm gonna get him on this one.
A little leather and vanilla.
Ooh.
Small touch of cinnamon. More of a peppery. It's got a pretty good cinnamon bite, I guess. That's good. I like it. I give it a 7 out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good sipper. I'm not complaining at all. It's not great by any means, but...
Interesting.
The finish is oaky and charry. Medium length. It's got a really good oily viscosity. That kind of makes that medium almost a long. It does stick around for quite a while, but not enough to say long, I don't think. I get a 3.75. I like that finish.
Well, it's a look. Looks good.
It's got a nice color.
It's got some nice legs.
Yeah, so many thick legs.
Yeah.
Oof.
The glass almost looks pleated with them, like ripply.
A very nice deep amber color. Kind of like a rustic color.
Huh?
I like the color. I give it full points on the color. 2.5.
Oh. Guesses? Anything? Proof? Something?
90 to 95 proof.
A little low.
No idea what it would be.
For the low price of $14.84.
Oh.
This is JW Dant.
Really?
Sir, sure is. We paid $14.84 for it.
I am impressed.
So this is 100 proof, bottled in bond, and it's one that John and I have been wanting to try. We picked it up when we went out of state.
We got it in Indiana, I believe.
Yeah. Not anything special or anything like that, but I was really interested to see what John thought because it looks so dark. And I mean, I know it's a bib, but it's just, I was interested and I thought that maybe it would be like a contender kind of for like Evan Williams bib, but so what do you think?
It's not as good as Evan Williams, but this is a Heaven Hill product too.
Yeah.
So they're very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Bottled in bond, 100 proof, obviously. There is some history on it. We're gonna have to take a break and get that. But I'll score the bottle first if you want me to.
Okay.
It's not a good bottle.
No.
Their bottles are quite cheap. Heaven Hill doesn't do great on the bottles unless you get in their higher up brands. I'm going to give it a 1.25. Going to give me an 18.25. Which will bring me to 73, which I'm very happy with, actually.
That's a solid one for it.
I really enjoy this.
Well, it's open now, so can be your new sipper. You want to pause and get some history a second? Okay, so we found some stuff.
Yeah, I saved an article from the ABV Network. Was it written by Steve Akeley?
I don't know.
Well, he's the founder and owner of it.
Wes Harden.
Wes Harden wrote it.
So, quite an interesting story. If you get a chance to look at it, please do. But, so they started out by hollowing out a poplar tree. Back in the day when people didn't have money to make a normal still, they would hollow out a poplar tree or any other tree, put a copper pipe through it, put the fermented mash in it after they sealed it. So they'd split it in half, core it out, put a pipe through it, put it back together, put the mash in there, and then steam the mash. And then produce alcohol. Well, they were so good at it that they were creating so much of it that they started building a raft and shipping it down the Mississippi down to New Orleans. And it's said, like, there's a bunch of different tales and stuff, but it's said to be told that James Dant himself Joseph Dant actually went down and ended up losing his raft and having to walk 600 miles back to Kentucky. So it's pretty interesting, but the process has changed. They ended up buying a warehouse. They were selling so much alcohol that they ended up producing their first barrel brand, Yellowstone, and it was originated in 1850 by J.W. Dant, and he managed to save enough resources to build a new distillery in 1870, and again used a different method. His mash tub was built much higher than his fermenter, using a very large pipe and gravity. He was able to fill his tubes without pumping. In the same through process, he used bottling the whiskey was filtered by gravity to a tank and then to the bottling line. So really ingenuitive, and you know the word I'm talking about. I don't know. So it's just kind of interesting because these guys came from absolute nothing. I mean, they were distilling this stuff in a tree. Yeah,
so it was one of the biggest brands back then, it sounds like.
Well, and it says, like, at the beginning when you sit down and people talk about, they talk about bourbon or whiskey back in the day, of course, like, you know, Colonel Blanton and Dr. James Crowe and E.H. Taylor and Stitzel Weller, everybody talks about them. But nobody really talks about J.W. Dant, and it seems like he had a pretty cool story.
It's kind of a forgotten brand right now. Heaven Hill owns it right now. They seem to have a bunch of these little brands that they don't advertise for, but they're all really good.
Yeah.
Like Fighting Cock.
But I mean, that's the thing with Heaven Hill, is they never cease to amaze me because
they're family owned.
This is the stupidest looking little bottle, and at $15, like,
it's cheap.
I don't want, I wouldn't look at this a second time if I was in a store. But
they didn't spend money on a nice label, didn't spend money on a nice bottle, put a plastic cap on it.
Put the money into the juice.
Yeah, kept the bottled-in-bond tradition, kept the quality.
So they're cutting the cost elsewhere, but the juice inside
really good
is
liquor.
Phenomenal. So that's pretty interesting, but definitely if you guys have a chance, get onto the ABV network and check out that story because it's really long. It's not super long, but it's too long for me to read on here. But it has a lot of good information, and it's pretty interesting, some of the stuff that they did.
If I remember, I'll put the link in the description in the comments.
Go from there. But I think you rated this accurately.
Yeah.
I think that that's very
It's good. I'm
Yeah.
surprised.
interesting. I'm happy that we picked it up. I'm happy that you like it. And there you have it. JW Dant, folks. So that wraps up this review. Leave a comment if you have tried this whiskey and let us know what you thought. Please like and share us to social media, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to leave a suggestion for our next review. Thanks for watching.